Hi, my name is Mark Olives, and today I'd like to take some time and explain to you how I became a physical therapist. So when I was young, probably around 8 years old, I started to develop pain in my hip. And I found that when I participated in athletics, that after I'd engage and then sit down and rest, when I got to go back, or when I got back up again, I had a lot of pain in my hip. I had trouble walking, certainly trouble running. I could eventually get going again, but I always wondered why it hurt. So eventually I told my mom, I'm having this pain in my hip. What do you think? So naturally she took me to the doctor. And this began my next 3 years of constant trips to the doctor on a regular basis. At first they weren't sure what was going on. I was being worked up for cancers and different things. But eventually they decided it wasn't cancerous. It was just a disorder called hip fibrous dysplasia, which is kind of a generic term I've learned. And so we kept returning to the physicians, and I kept asking a question of, why does it hurt? And my big reason for asking that question was, I always figured if I can figure out why it hurts, then there's probably something that I can do that will make it better. And for whatever reason, in seeing doctor after doctor, I never did really receive any answer that was very conclusive or satisfactory. And in fact, I still remember this day there was 2 answers that I thought were fairly inappropriate. One doctor told me to get a cane. Again, I'm an 8-year-old or 12-year-old, it was somewhere in that time frame. The idea of getting a cane was absolutely preposterous. The idea of going back to school and walking around with a cane, I'm not going to be blending in with my peer group. I'd have felt like an idiot. Also, I was athletic. I wanted to do things, and a cane was not a solution. That was just kind of a band-aid or a suggestion that showed me that the doctor really wasn't taking me as a person into consideration. The second response that I still remember was probably even worse. And again, I had asked, with my condition, what can I do? And why does it hurt? And the doctor said, well, this is a condition that frequently racehorses get. And I said, oh, okay, well, what do they do with the racehorses? Figuring if you can tell me what they do with the racehorses, then maybe I can use the same kind of thing and improve my condition. And the doctor said, well, they take them out and they shoot them. And I understood that he was being humorous and whatnot, but it still wasn't the right answer to provide for a young kid or even a patient of any variety without giving more information beyond that, because I left there feeling discouraged that there was just nothing I could possibly do. In all those visits to physicians, I was never offered any physical therapy. I was never offered any exercise solutions. I was given options for surgery, which was mostly just to ascertain whether it was a malignancy, but really wouldn't have done anything to help out. And obviously prescription medication. I was not interested in those choices. So with my trip into healthcare being extremely negative when I was younger, that kind of provided me a background that when I later was going through school and I got interested in exercise, and I discovered physical therapy, those two just seemed a perfect fit. Physical therapy provides me with a career that I can spend a lot of time with patients. I can hopefully explain their conditions, help them to understand, and hopefully give them solutions to help out. I do tell people physical therapy cannot help everything, but I have found throughout my career that it's amazing that we can help a number of disorders. So in conclusion, I would say I've been very happy with my career, and I'm still happy today, and hopefully you don't ever need me. But if you do, I'd like to give it my best shot to help you out in the future. Thanks.